Good morning, shoppers. At 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans.
They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little child, there's no fear in her eyes. Could he not show respect for other dads who have died? Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. God forgive me for wanting to strike him. Give me strength so as not to be like him. My heart pounds in my breast, fingers pressed to my lips. My throat wants to call out, my tongue barely resists. But 2 minutes I will bide. It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. Read the letters and poems of the heroes at home. They have casualties, battles, and fears of their own. There's a price to be paid if you go, if you stay. Freedom's fought for and won in numerous ways. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls all over. May we never forget our young become vets at the end of the line. It's a pittance of time. It takes courage to fight in your own war. It takes courage to fight someone else's war. Our peacekeepers tell of their own living hell. They bring hope to foreign lands that hate mongers can't kill. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who go over. In peacetime our best still don battle dress and lay their lives on the line. It's a pittance of time. In peace may they rest, lest we forget why they died. Take a pittance of time.
Halloween shoppers, at 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans.
They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little...
Hi, everyone. Please be seated. My name is Dejanelle Simon, and I am the president of the Algonquin Students Association. And on behalf of President Brule and the students and staff of the college, I welcome you to this special ceremony. To begin, I would like to first acknowledge that this event is taking place on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We gather today in honor of the memory of our parents, grandparents, friends, and relatives who gave of themselves in wartime so that we could live in peace. It is thanks to their courage that we are able to live freely and enjoy all of the wonderful benefits of living here in Canada. At this time, I would like to extend a sincere welcome to our special guests behind me. First, we have the Honorary Colonel Jim Kite from the 76th Communication Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Tim Mallow, Commanding Officer, 76 Communication Regiment, Chief Warrant Officer, Pierre Paradis, Intermediate Leadership Program Director and Royal Canadian Air Force Senior Mentor of the OSIDE Institute, Chief Warrant Officer Darren Hermiston, from the 76th Communication Regiment Sergeant Major. And next, from the Canadian Forces Military Geomatics Program and the Mapping and Charting Establishment, Major Andrew Colpitz, Commandant School of Military Mapping, and Master Warrant Officer Jim Spence, Chief Instructor, School of Military Mapping. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here today. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce our special guest, Mr. David Karti. Many of you may recognize Mr. Karti from the past 2 weeks at the Poppy Table, just on the entrance here. In addition to his civilian careers as an RCMP constable and a community college instructor and manager, Mr. Karti devoted 20 years of his life in the Canadian Forces Military Police, where he advanced from private to master warrant officer and retired as a commissioned from the ranks captain. During his 20 years of service, Mr. Karti spent 11 years abroad, positioned in the Middle East, Northern Europe, and Belgium. Mr. Karti is a member of the Branch 593 Legion in Bell's Corners. Mr. Karti, we are so honored to have you here with us today. To continue with our ceremony, we will now lay 4 wreaths. At this time, I'd like to call upon Claude Brulé, President of Algonquin College. Claude was Chief of Staff at the Canadian Forces School of Communications and Electronics, and Claude will lay the first wreath on behalf of the college employees. And now I would like to invite Richard Lee, Chair of the Alumni and Friends Network, on behalf of family and friends to honor all those who served. I would now like to call upon May Gadban, Vice President of the Students Association, who will lay a wreath on behalf of Algonquin students. And finally, it is my honor to introduce Caleb Rogers. Caleb is an Algonquin First Nation from the Kitty-Gonzibi and a student from the Pre-Health Advanced Program. Caleb will be laying a wreath today in honor of all Aboriginal veterans, past and present. And now I would like to ask Mr. Karti to do us the honor of reading In Flanders Fields, a poem written by John McCrae. Mr. Karti?
In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amidst the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold on high. If ye break faith with us who died, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Thank you, Mr. Karti. I now ask all who are able, as is customary on Remembrance Day, to please stand for the last post, followed by 2 minutes of silence in memory for all who fell for our freedom during wartime. At the conclusion of our 2 minutes of silence, we will hear the lament, followed by the reveille. Chaplain and Counselor Yuri Durkak will then read the Act of Remembrance, and Academic Chair Sandra Brancatelli will lead us in the singing of our national anthem.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, car ton bras sait porter les pays, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
This concludes our ceremony. I'd like to once again thank Mr. Karti and our special guests from the Canadian Forces, our wreath layers and Chaplain Durack, students and members of the Military Geomatics Program and the Mapping and Charting Establishment, students from the Paramedics and Pre-Service Firefighter Programs, our pipers John Vereg and our piper Jack Coghill, and our singer Sandra Brancatelli for participating today. We do hope everyone will take a moment to view our Lest We Forget presentation on the screens, honoring the memory of veterans from all conflicts who are related to or friends of employees and students at the college. We also want to let you know that the college chapel and the student commons will be open after this ceremony for those who wish quiet prayer or meditation, and the chaplain will also be available. And finally, may I say thank you to all of you for taking the time out of your day to commemorate the memory of all our special war heroes. Please stay in your place until the military troops have marched into Salon A. Thank you and good day.